Hello everyone, it's me again, and now today we are going to continue with English, and we are going to start, as you can see, we are going to start theme 1. We are still in theme 1, and we are going to start unit 2. And as you can see, the title of unit 2 is going to be about the internet. Now, first, let's take a look at this. Now, question number 1. Look at the list of items below. So as you can see here, we have a list of items. Now, do you think they are essential or non-essential? Essential means very important. You can't live without. And non-essential, it means not important. You can live without and you would have no problem. So as you can see, look at this list, and do you think these items in the list are essential, very important for you, or non-essential, not very important for you? Write down the 10 most essential items for you in your exercise book. Please go to your exercise book and write the most 10 important or essential items for you. Um, but before you do that, let's take a look at the items. We have pencil, paper, home computer, mobile phone, telephone, phone card, coins, internet connection, stamps, CD, television, DVD player, MP3 player, laptop computer. So which 10 of these are the most important for you? Please take 1 minute and write them in the list on in your exercise book. Okay, so please now pause the video, stop the video, go to your exercise book and write the 10 most important, the 10 most essential items for you. Okay, now after you have finished this on your exercise book, and now you have the list of 10 most essential items for you, the important ones in your life. Now let's take a look at this reading. Read the text and answer questions A and B. Now as you can see here, we have this text and we have two questions. One, how old is the internet now? B, which of these activities is not specifically mentioned? Now, again, remember step number 1. Do I need to read everything? No. You can just skim the text and you can easily answer these two questions. So only now take a look at this text, skim it, take 1 minute and try to answer these two questions. How old is the internet? And which of these activities is not mentioned? Which of these four they don't talk about in the text? What are the four? Shopping, blogging, emailing, and social networking. So we have some of these activities that are not mentioned in the text. Now please take 2 minutes and try to answer these two questions, questions A and B. 2 minutes starting now. Okay, now after 2 minutes, I think it will be easy for us to answer this question and decide which of these or the answers to these two questions. Let's see. A. How old is the internet now? Could you find the answer to that? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's try to answer it together. Now, if we take a look here at the first paragraph, we can see it was only 1991. You see here, it was only 1991 that a computer scientist named Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. So this was created in 1991, and today we are in 2020, which means that the internet now is, what do you think? How old is it? So the internet now is 29 years old. Okay, so don't forget that the internet is 29 years old. So that's the answer to the first question. Okay, so don't forget that it is 29 years old. Now, what about the second question? Let's take a look at the second question. Which of these activities is not specifically mentioned? Now, let's see. Shopping. Did they talk about shopping here? Yes, they talked about shopping. You see here they talked about online shopping. So, online shopping. Also, if you continue, what about blogging? Did they mention anything about blogging? Did they talk about blogging? What do you think? Yes, they did. So, they mentioned blogging here. Now, what about emailing? Could you find anything about emailing here? No, so emailing is the first one. What about social networking? Did they talk about social networking? Mm-hmm. No, they didn't. So again, we have social networking. So we need to circle number 3 and number 4. These two are not mentioned in the text. Now, let's continue. And okay, now let's continue and move to the next thing. But first, let me just remove these two. Sorry. Okay, so now as you can see here, now we have in the reading text in activity 2, what do the words in bold refer to? Now let's take a look at the words in bold to understand more about that. Now the first word in bold that we have here is this word. We have they. Now when we say, for example, while they are sitting at home, who are they? We need to know who does it refer back to? They. Now, to understand this, we need to go back in the sentence. So when we go back in the sentence, we can see while globally people connecting. So we can start here. High-speed connections, links to personal computers and PCs, wireless systems are connecting people globally while they are sitting at home. So now when we say they, who are they? Who are we talking about? Now, of course, we are, if you think about it, we are talking about people. So we need to draw an arrow to people. So we are talking about people. Okay. Now, what about, so let's just have this. Now, what about the next one? Now, the next one here, we have these services. What services are they talking about? What are we referring back to? Again, we need to go back to understand what we are talking about. These services. What services? Now, of course, here, I will give you some time to think about it. Okay. So, of course, here we are referring back to, what do you think? Now, of course, we are referring back to high-speed connections. Okay, so this is what we are referring back to, high-speed connections. So these services, which services? High-speed connections. Now, if we continue also here, we have they. What are they? What are we talking about here? They, what they? Again, we need to go back. What do you think? Now, of course, here also, to understand this, we need to go back in the sentence and they refers back to anyone. So they refers back to anyone. Now, if we continue here, we have also they. Who are we talking about? Who are they? Again, we need to go back. A book, some flowers, log on, type in your credit card details, and they are yours. They. What are they? What do you think? Of course, the book or some flowers. That's right. So the book or some flowers. That's why in the next sentence we said they. We don't need to repeat again. So just draw an arrow or two arrows from they to book and some flowers. Now, next we have their readers. Their readers. Who are we talking about here? What do you think? Now, I will give you some time to think about it. Again, remember, you need to go back in the sentence to know who we are talking about. There. So, here we are talking about, what do you think? Uh-huh. Okay, yes, we are talking about anyone. Okay, so anyone to share. So there refers back to anyone. What about who now? The last one. Who? From their readers, who may be thousands. Now this one is easy, and of course here we are talking about their readers. So of course we need here to have readers. Who refers back to readers. Okay? Okay. Now let's continue our work and let's move to the next thing that we have here. And this time it's we need to remember some grammar. And today we are going to talk a little about the present simple and present continuous. Now, what is the difference in meaning between the two questions? Question number one, what do you think about technology? And question number two, what are you thinking about? So what's the difference between these two questions? What do you think about technology? I'm asking you what you think about technology only now at this minute. No, I'm asking you what you think about technology in general. What about the second question? What are you thinking about now? Now I'm asking you what you are thinking about now at the moment. Now let's read these sentences and match them to the usages on the right. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 sentences. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 usages. Let me read the examples first. 1. She is texting her friend on her new phone. 2. He is taking a course in computer science. 3. He emails his friends every day. 4. I'm getting a new phone tomorrow. 5. They live in Sahar. 6. There are many blogs on the internet. Now, we have two parts here for the usage. We have use for the simple present and use for the present continuous. Now, I will give you 1 minute to match the sentences on the left with the usage on the right. Take 1 minute. Okay, so now after we have finished or after I give you some time. Now, let's try to think about these together. She's texting her friend on her new phone. What do you think? Which usage is that? First, is this simple present or present continuous? What do you think? She is texting her friend on her phone right now. Of course, this is what? This is um, present. This is present continuous. Now, what are we talking about? She is texting her friend on her new phone. When? What do you think? Now, of course, here we are talking about an action that is happening now. So now we are talking about D. What about he is taking a course in computer science? Are we talking only about this moment? Or are we talking about, for example, this time in general, this time, not necessarily at this moment, but at this period in his life, at this, maybe this month or these 2 months, he's taking a course in computer science, but not necessarily now at this time. So, of course, here, what do you think this is about? Of course, this is about E. So here we are talking about activities or situations that are happening now, although maybe not at the exact moment of speaking. So he is taking a course, but not necessarily at this moment, maybe this month, this week. Number three, he emails his friends every day. Every day he emails his friends. What is that? What do you think? Is it present continuous or simple present? Of course, this is simple present, and we are talking about habits and routines, something that's repeated every day, every day, every day. It's a habit, it's a routine. I'm getting a new phone tomorrow. Tomorrow, this word is important. So, am I talking about now? No, I'm talking about the future. Which one here do you have is about the future? Of course, it is F. So, plans or arrangements for the future. What about they live in Sohar? They live in Sohar. Now, what is this? Now, am I talking only about this moment, this minute, or am I talking about or describing a, for example, a permanent situation? They are living in Sohar now, right? So we can say that here we are talking about a situation that is, sorry, no. Here we are talking about describing a permanent state. Okay, so they are living in Sohar, and this is always they are living in Sohar. So this is permanent. Finally, there are many blogs on the internet. What are you doing? You are talking about a situation that is true. Okay, so they are living, or there are many blogs in the on the internet. They are talking about a situation that is true. Now, let's try to understand the present simple and the present continuous a little bit in more details. And let's move to this. Now, as you can see, we use the simple present to talk about general truths, something that's generally true. For example, it rarely rains in the desert. It rarely rains in the desert. So here I'm talking about something as something that is generally true. Now you play chess with 32 pieces. 32 pieces. So this is something that is generally true, always true. So if you look at the verb, you can see that one time here we used s here, and one time we didn't use s. So why are we using s? Because we have it. So he, she, it, we need an s. I, we, you, they, there is no s with the verb. So again, he, she, it, we need s. I, we, you, they, there is no s. Okay? Now, that's the first thing. Now, the other thing about the present simple is that we use it to talk about present what? Habits, routine, repeated actions. For example, the birds return to the island every morning. So what is this? This is again a habit. Also, Marsha goes to dance club every Thursday. What is that again? Again, this is every, so which means again routine, repeated action. So again, if you look at the verbs, you can see here that we have no s because we have the birds. plural, which means they. But here we have Marsha. Marsha means she. So what did we add to the verb? We added an S. Okay? So remember, he, she, it. We need S. I, we, you, they. We don't need anything. We just use the verb. What about the present continuous? Now, she is reading a newspaper upstairs. I'm busy. I'm doing my homework. Now, here we are talking about actions happening now, at the time of speaking, at the moment of speaking. So that's why we are using present continuous. They are happening now and they are still happening. They didn't finish. How did we form it? Now, look at this. We have is reading, am, do, wing. So we are using is and am and ing. Let's continue. Also here, if you look at it, you can see we have are, forgetting. Also here we have is, singing. So also we have what? We have ing with is and are. So as you can see here, we have is or am or are. And what are we using with them? We are always using what? Ing, to talk about what? To talk about now, at the moment, happening now. They still didn't finish. Okay? Okay, now the last thing here about the present continuous is that sometimes we use it to talk about annoying habits. Annoying habits, it means something that you don't like. And we can use it with the word always. For example, you're always forgetting to pay the bills. Am I happy about that? No, I am not happy. This is making me angry. I don't like it. It is an annoying habit. You're always forgetting to pay the bills. And he's always singing in the shower. Do I like it? No, maybe I'm trying to sleep. And he's always singing and making a loud noise. That's why I don't like it. So here I'm using he's always singing in the shower. I'm using always with ing. Always with ing. So you see, we use always with ing if I want to talk about something that I don't like, something you are doing and I don't like it. Okay, so I think that's it about the present simple and the present continuous. Now, thank you very much for watching this lesson. Now, there will be some homework on the workbook, on your exercise book. So I hope that you can do those for Unit 1 and Unit 2. And later I can just, after you finish doing them, I can just send you the answers and we can talk about your problems or the mistakes that you have done and you can ask me any question. Thank you very much and I'll see you next class.